Hi, I'm Callum from Time Valley Motorhomes, and today I'll be doing the handover demonstration on the Elddis Encore 250. So coming down the driver's side of the vehicle, so you have got your grey waste tab here. So this is anything you have put down a plug hole, drains into here. So you drive over a grid on site and drop your waste water out. Obviously in the winter you'd want to empty this as well. And then above you've got your toilet. So this is your toilet cassette. It opens with the tri-mark key for here, so it'll open with this key for all your lockers. And then make sure the grey lever on the bottom bowl of the toilet is closed, and you'll be able to lift the arm handle, slide it out, lift the handle so you can drag it around the site. Take your cassette to your waste disposal point, which is normally behind or beside your toilet block. Take your grey cap off. Press the button at the back, allows a bit of air in, stops it glugging, and you can pour it out. Once you've poured it out, if you put some water in, give it a shake, tip out again, and then you can then measure out your liquid into here. The cap full, straight into here, and then you are ready to use the cassette again. So you place it back into the vehicle, and when it clicks back in, it's in place. Moving further down the motorhome, you've got your two fridge vents. You've got your fresh water drain, so it's exactly like your waste, but this is your fresh water. So should you have taken on any contaminated water, you want to drain the system, or in the winter you will want to drain all your water off, you just open up and this is just fresh water. So again, you would drive over a grid, and here you've got your main hookup point. So to hook the vehicle up, get your hookup lead, lift the collar, slide it over the top. Always hook the vehicle first, then you point, and do it in reverse when unhooking the vehicle. Then walking around to the back of the motorhome, you do have your high level brake light and rear view camera. You've got your two bike rack, which has been an option fitted by this customer. So you'd put your bikes on the rails, these through the spokes to tie the wheels down to the rail, and put this round your crossbars to secure your bikes to the bike rack. You've got your Aldi vent, so just make sure that's obstruction free at all time, and then you can lock and unlock this with the small key. And this is your freshwater fill up point, so you put a hose pipe in there and then fill till it either overflows or until you're happy you've got enough water on board, which you can check on the main control panel. And then you do have under storage for your bed with all your carpets in there. Then walking around to the passenger side of the vehicle, you've got your LPG, so liquid petroleum gas. This is your gas locker. So in here you can have two bottles like so, and then obviously you turn on and off at the top of the bottle. Always turn it off when you are travelling. Always make sure the bottle's secure, you're strapped in, and then make sure to connect the pigtail to the bottle. It's a left hand thread, so opposite threads with it being gas. So no need for a spanner, and then should you run out you can go on to the other bottle. You've got your external 240 volt socket for when you're in your awning, and your external TV point. Barbecue point here, so this works off the main bottles on board. And there's a little gas spigot here which you get some gas hose. Clip that on there and then connect the other end to your Caddock or external barbecue and turn on at the main gas tap. Then coming to the passenger door, you do have your diesel filler. So your diesel filler works, so it's a lockable fuel cap with the ignition key. And then below you've got AdBlue, so with it being a Euro 6 compliant engine, AdBlue is an exhaust solution. And you'll get a light on the dash when it needs AdBlue. It's a 20 litre tank and it tends to do about 5,000 miles before it needs AdBlue. And then you do have your tyre pressures on the door panel there, so 5.5 bar front and back, which is 79.5 psi all round. Got your main engine battery underneath the carb floor. Then underneath the seat is a tool kit, so it's got a jack and a brace, a tow and eye in there. And then should you want to pop the bonnet, your bonnet release is just on the side of the dashboard. then you do have your various liquids. So you've got your oil filler and dipstick down here. You have your brake fluid, radiator fluid, power steering fluid, but the main one you're going to need is your screen wash. And then should you ever need to jump start the vehicle, you would earth off here. So this is where your black clip would go and your red clip would just clip underneath. So lift this up with your key, lift there, and there's your positive contact. And also when we're in here, this is your weight plate for your vehicle, so 3.5 ton. If you were to put a tow bar on, you can tow 2 ton behind the motorhome. Then you've got an SGE number, which is your unique build number to this vehicle. So once you come into the motorhome, this is your control panel. So you've got your master switch, which turns on and off your power. So should you be hooked up, you'll get 240 volt. If not, you'll just get 12 volt off your leisure battery. And you've got your pump, which you must have on to use all the taps, toilet, shower within the vehicle. You've got your master switch for your lights, and then they all are individually switched around the van. And then you've got your awning, which is your awning light, which is just above the habitation door there. You can then use these to scroll, so you can go scroll through the menu. So water levels, so you can see there we've got 62% of fresh water, 5% of waste, your leisure battery reading of 14.3 volts, and then you can go into the menu there and select which option you want. Above you do have your Aldi control panel, so you turn your Aldi on like so. Once you've turned it on, you can then hit the menu button, and you've got the house with a thermometer in at the top. This is the temperature of the vehicle, so we've got a 30 degrees being the highest at the moment. And then below you've got your shower, which is your water. So this is how hot you want your water, so you can have it on half, which is 40 degrees, or you can have it on full, which is 60 degrees. And then below you've got your electricity symbol. So this is on electric, so you've got it off, 1 kilowatt of electric, 2 kilowatts of electric, or 3 kilowatts of electric, depending on what your site output is. Mainly it's 2 kilowatts in this country. And then you've got your gas flame below, so you can have the gas and electric on together should you want to heat the water or the vehicle up quicker. Or if you didn't have any electric, you can just use gas when you're wild camping. So now in the kitchen area, this is your hob, which is lit. So you've got 3 gas rings and 1 240 ring at the back, only when hooked up, which is operated from here. You've got your light for your oven, and then you do have your grill, and below you have your oven. And just a tip with these shelves, when you travel you may want to take them out, but when you put them back in, make sure these 2 grooves are to the back of the oven, as it stops the burners being blocked by any food. And then next to it you do have your fold away table, which you can use either inside the motorhome or outside should it be a nice day. Just stores away in there like so. And below you do have your gas isolation tab for your cooker, and you've got your isolation at the back, the plug for your electric hot plate. Your microwave only will work on mains hookup, so it won't work off 12 volt, it'll only work when you hook it up. And then the isolation plug is above here. You've got storage for your cups and your plates in here, and a storage cabinet. And then open the drawers if you just push the catch down or up to release the drawers. Like so. Above we do have a skylight, so with this skylight what you need to do is you need to pull down on it, pull your weight and slide, so you can have this open should it be a nice day and it's not too windy or Obviously when you travel you do want it closed, and you've got a fly screen and a blackout blind on there. And then across from the kitchen area you've got your fridge, so you've got your master on off for your fridge here, so this is how you turn your fridge on or off. Then you've got 3 sources, so you've got the plug being hook up on mains electric, the flame being gas when i.e. you're wild camping, and then the battery setting isn't your leisure battery, it comes off the alternator when the engine is running. So the idea here is you either cool it down on gas or electric first, and then you would put on a battery and it'll just keep the temperature the same. Obviously it's failed there because the engine isn't running, and that's just designed to keep the temperature the same, basically acts as a cool box. And then you've got your temperature there. Obviously when you have finished with the van for the season, if you clean your fridge out and just leave the door ajar to stop any smells and mold from growing in the fridge. Above it you do have a storage compartment, and below you do as well. And then below the bed you've got your trips. So as you can see, you've got your charger, boiler, sockets and your main RCD tester on mains electric, and then you've got your various 12 volt fuses which tell you what to do there. So it would be a good idea to carry some spares just in case one does go. You can change it, and you do have this little rocker switch here which is for your tank heaters, so it puts current through the water. If it's going to be cold overnight you'd want to switch them on just to stop the water from freezing in the tank. And below you've got your boiler in there as well, so your boiler's in here, and there's your water pump. There you've got a gas tap for isolation purposes, and just down at the back here you've got your boiler drain tap, so this orange yellow tap here at the back. So when winterising the vehicle you'll want to stand it up and drain out all 10 litres of water out the boiler to stop it from freezing. So you do that when you leave the vehicle standing over the winter. Open all the taps within the vehicle, open the 2 taps outside the vehicle, and then when you are ready to use it, you'd shut all your taps, fill it with water, put your pump on, go to the cold side of the tap first, you'll get automatic cold water, go to the hot side, it'll cough, splutter, make all sorts of noises, and what that's doing is it's drawing the water from the main tank into the boiler until 10 litres are filled up in the boiler. And then once one tap's primed, do them all, and then your system's primed for the season. And you've got a light switch here for underneath your mirror there, and a rear TV socket. You've got storage down here for an additional leisure battery should you want to put one in. There you can just harness another battery in there. And then you do have the Aldi expansion tank in the corner there. So you might think it's a bit low when it's off. Put it on and it'll show its true level of what it's reading as it expands with the liquid. It is just antifreeze, so should you have to top it up, you can top it up with the Aldi antifreeze liquid. And in here is your TV aerial. So you've got your TV booster at the back where you can min or max the signal. And then when you are travelling, you do want to make sure that the stem is pulled tightly into the van and tightened. But then when you are struggling to get a TV signal, what you do is loosen it off, push it up, and then you can use the black collar and turn this individually, and it'll tilt the aerial to find the best signal. But the tip is look for where the other motorhome and caravans aerials are pointing on your site, and you should get a good enough signal. Below you've got your individual reader lights with a little switch on there, so you can turn them on and off when you want them on. And you've got a wardrobe the same as that on that side. Now if we just have a look in the bathroom. To operate your toilet, obviously you would make sure the pump's on, and then you'd be able to flush the toilet. So if we just put the pump on there, you press the button and flush the toilet. You always want to flush the toilet first before you use it to lubricate the blade. Then you've got a grey lever on the bottom bowl of the toilet. Slide that to the right, opens the blade. You'd use the toilet, then you'd flush the toilet again, and then you'd close the blade to isolate it. Obviously the blade needs to be closed to get the cassette out the outside of the vehicle, otherwise it won't come out. Put your heated towel rail, your toiletry cupboard, got a towel rail there as well. Same skylight, blackout blind and fly screen on there. Also when winterising, if you take your shower head off and allow your shower hose to lie flat in the shower tray, as you can see it's got a loop in, any water would build up there and potentially freeze and crack that pipe. And then you do have your sink with a push plug. Now at the front of the van, just underneath this hatch in the floor, is the location of your leisure batteries. So this is where your main leisure battery lives. So if you lift this one up, there you've got 1 Varta battery. And underneath the lounge you have your pop-up seats, which we'll show you once we get all your cushions off. And then if you just lift your seat base, lift it up, 2 levers, slide it down, and then if you just lift and then you can slot your seat base into position just on these 2 lugs. And then you do have 2 isofix points there as well, and the same on the other side. And then to operate your swivel seats, there's a small lever just in the middle of the seats there, so you'd slide that out, turn it round. If it was to get stuck on the door, just adjust the seating position and slide the seat round, and then you make your lounge that little bit bigger. And to make this into a bed, you just lift them up ever so slightly and slide them into the middle. Get your backrests, place them in the middle, which act as your infill cushions. Turn all your cushions upside down to the flat surface, as it's more comfortable to sleep on. And there you have your double bed. And then your bed has 2 different modes, so it can be in day mode, where the backrest is lifted up to give you more space to go around the bed, or you can slide the bed out, pull the mattress out and slide the backrest down, which gives you extra space when you're using the bed on an evening. And then to operate the front Hecky roof light, you've got a winding handle there, so you just wind the roof light open, and then obviously make sure it is shut before you travel off. Even though it is above the cab, it's not to be used when travelling. And then you do have a blackout blind and a fly screen. And now in the cab, so to the right of the driver, you do have your handbrake. You've got your blinds on the, so your MS car blinds, you use your finger and your thumb, pinch, slide it down, and that'll black out your side window, so the passenger and the driver on an evening. You've got your electric window controls and your mirror adjustments, and then you'd pinch your windscreen ones, slide them across, pinch that one, slide that one across, and then they just meet in the middle as they're just magnetic, like so. And then you do have your fog lights and start stop button, so if you didn't want that you can turn it off, and headlight adjustment here. You've got your wipers with the trip computer, which goes through that screen here, so it'll tell you your miles per gallon, your average speed, your travelling times, your distance travelled, and your average and instant consumption. Obviously you've got your fuel, your temperature, your speedo, and your revs and your speed. And in the middle here you'll get a little light that looks like a gust of wind just in the middle of the temperature and the fuel when the AdBlue is required. You've got your mute, volume, voice command, hands-free. This will scroll through the radios or phone contacts there. indicators and your lights. This has got the new 9-speed automatic gearbox, so you'd pull it down for drive, reverse, park, and then you do have your manual mode where you can push it to the left and intervene up and down the gears. Or you've got drive modes, which is eco, power or normal, and it'll show above the drive there. So normally it's a normal, and if you did want to overtake anything, just put your foot down a bit harder and it'll kick in. ASR off's another word for turning your traction control off. You've got your padlock, which locks your habitation and cab door, with the being an Encore. It's got central locking on the habitation door. Heated mirrors, USBs and 12 volt. And then you do have storage here with a USB for the radio. Temperature, fan speed must be on at least 1 or more for the aircon to work, which is this button in the middle. And then you do have where you want the air to go to and your recirculation. And then on the head unit itself, you've got DAB, FM and AM channels, which you can press 3 or you can press all and save 12 stations. Media could be Bluetooth audio, USB, and then you've got your nav, which is just a TomTom sat nav. So with the navigation, it will ask you to set a household address up. Put somewhere nearby the house, but don't put your house address in, as if someone steals your motorhome, they know where you live. So do just put like the local town, just somewhere where you can get from A to the town, and then you know your way home. So that's all you need to do. And then phone, you can pair a phone. So just press phone, find Uconnect on your device, make sure the pins match, press pair, and then you can then sync your contacts. It will come up allow, sync contacts, and all your sync contacts will come in here. And then above you do have your rear view camera, which works when you're going forward as well as reversing.